Hello everybody, I am Fuzzyface. Welcome back to what is today the penultimate episode of Season 1 of this Motorsport Manager career, our Project Audi series. Between the last race and this race, the Phoenix Grand Prix that we're heading into, the American Grand Prix, there has been quite a big gap in game of about 3 weeks, which has meant the AI has managed to get quite a few upgrades going here. So that is what we're going to jump into straight away, as you can see. We won't hover over it yet, but the engine, how it is rated in our car at the moment, it looks like we're totally back of the grid. I haven't actually clicked onto that or hovered over it to see where we are at in relation to all the others, but I'm guessing because our engine development, this is the one that we're currently developing at the moment, is only our second time upgrading it this season. It does take a long time to upgrade an engine, but I'm guessing we're going to be quite a long way behind. As you can see from the bar chart that we've got over there, we are a long way behind. So the reason for that is Honda have put out their third spec engine of the season, so that means Red Bull, AlphaTauri have got a nice brand new engine in their car. Ferrari, I think this is the fourth time they've upgraded their engine. Ferrari upgraded their engine, so that filters down to Alfa Romeo and Prema. In addition to that as well, Renault have also upgraded their engine. So Renault and Haas, who are a customer team of Renault this season, Haas, they get new upgraded engines as well. So if we just hover over here, yeah, we're 12th at the moment. It means Mercedes, who I think it was 2 races ago, upgraded their engine, had the best engine in the game, and they've now filtered all the way down to 8th overall in terms of the engine being the most powerful. Red Bull grabbed first place, and we've got Ferrari, Renault, all the top three works teams. So I'm guessing the point difference, I didn't actually check how close they were together. They are pretty close, because as you can see, the customer versions of those engines, which are usually 5 to 10 points lower, is what I aim for when I put it in the customer car. Obviously the customer team won't get as much out of an engine as the works team. So as you can see, the customer teams have filtered out there. AlphaTauri, Prema, Haas, Alfa Romeo, they're filtered out a little bit lower. But that does mean that those works team, those engines are within about 5 points of each other, so they're really, really close. Some of them might even be the same, I'm guessing. Yeah, so it's going to be really close. Mercedes have slipped down to 8th place overall. Their car is still 4th. Aston Martin is still above us. Despite our engine being really bad, the rest of the car is pretty much there, pretty much average across the board. We do have a really good front wing. We do have a really good rear wing. As you can see, Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo, I think Alfa Romeo have made the biggest step this time. They've got the new engine from Ferrari, they've got a new rear wing, they have a new suspension, although it's not a really good suspension as it is. Alfa Romeo have jumped up to 8th. That is quite good. It's been about where they've been recently, but obviously with the big upgrades going into their car, so a lot of the engines are going to be similar. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in Phoenix, because Phoenix, if we just have a look at the track, it is half an oval, so the engine is going to play a big part here. Other upgrades, Mercedes, Williams have new suspensions, McLaren have a new suspension as well, Aston Martin have put a new front wing on, and Haas and Prema have new suspensions as well. Whereas us, we've had no upgrade because we're building this end of year engine, which is going to be our engine for next year. I don't really want to put it in the car for the next race, because I do want to make it a little bit different, that we get a nice brand new engine for next year. Just depends how we do in this race, doesn't it, with this really, let's face it, rubbish engine that we've got. We've slipped way behind with our Audi engine. I'm guessing we're not going to have any customer teams wanting our engine next year, but this upgrade that we've got going on at the moment, it is quite a big step forward. Although a lot of these teams that put the new engines in, they made a massive step forward as well, so I don't know how close we're going to be able to get to them heading into next season. But as it is a long race here, 51 laps. It is a pretty quick lap. I'm guessing we're in a 1 minute 5 seconds maybe. I know the full oval is about 30 seconds. It may be even a sub minute, because we're cutting out a lot of the track. There's still a lot of the track here that isn't. We're on, what actual track are we on here? It is track C. I've usually done this one when we've played games before, but we're on track C, which does still cut a lot out, so it is going to be a short track. It might even be a sub-minute track. It is 51 laps. But anyway, we're going to see what happens. It's going to be dry for the rest of the weekend, so hopefully there's going to be no rain. I do like no rain because it does mean the AI does perform to the best of their ability. But we're going to jump into practice now and we'll be back in a second to go through qualifying. So practice is over. We're looking relatively quick here. Both cars in the top 10. I don't know how that's going to translate as we go through qualifying. The Renault, well, the lead drivers in the Renault, the Mercedes and the Ferrari, all quickest. Alonso slower than Vettel in the Red Bull. Let's just see how it translates here during qualifying. We're going to go super soft in quali. There's no other real reason to go for anything else during qualifying. We just need to change this one back to this one as we enter into Part Fermi. Got a decent setup with Vettel as well. The good thing about this, with it being a short track, is you do get a lot more laps in, so it's a little bit better to nail a setup, which I'm going to save it because I don't actually have a set. I didn't actually have a base setup for this track. So when I send Vettel out, I do need to make sure that I do save it. So we do have it saved for next year to get somewhere near from the off. Although we got pretty close from the opening, just from guessing what the track would be like. We got pretty close. I managed to perfect it with Vettel. Didn't get as close with Van Dorn, but hopefully we've got some decent pace in qualifying here. It would be good. Vettel is quickest so far. Is everyone setting laps at the moment? I mean, with why would we be going quickest around Phoenix? That is a crazy lap time. Why are we quickest? What? I'm like confused. How does Vettel go quickest? Van Dorn. I mean, because the track is so short, the lap times are so close together with each other. It's only a second down to the back of the grid. I don't think we could hold on to that, but with our engine the way it is, we shouldn't be the quickest around here. By a long shot, we shouldn't be the quickest. I mean, really, we should be seeing the cars, the Renault, the cars with the Renault and the Honda engine, the Ferrari engine should all be a lot quicker than us. I think we're going to get Van Dorn out around about now, see if he can go quicker. Should be a little bit of room out on track for him. Although, well, I was going to say you don't really get a slipstream, but this game doesn't really take into account slipstreams too much. We're going to get Vettel out. Hopefully he's in a little bit of clear air. He's not going to be competing with the other cars that are going to be setting their hot laps. No, it looks like we've got him some clear air as well. As Van Dorn starts his last stint or hot lap of this qualifying session. What can Van Dorn do here? He's going a lot slower. He's already out of it by the second sector. I think he was out of it by the first sector. But Vettel currently fastest. Hamilton's going quicker this second time around. So maybe Vettel just put in an absolutely outstanding lap. He's slower over the first sector than his lap last time. Quickest second sector. How are we going to keep it here? There's about a tenth to get to close to Hamilton. Vettel manages to get first. Look at that. Under a 1,000th second in front of Hamilton. I think that is, well, it is our first ever pole position in this game. On a track I didn't think would be really good at. I'm guessing Vettel's just really good here, as we can see from Van Dorn is a long way behind. Van Dorn about 6 tenths behind. Well, he is 6 tenths behind. But Vettel, absolutely amazing. Pole position. I mean, just stunned. Really? How did we even get pole position? I mean, it's just really crazy how we got pole position. I don't even know. I mean, we're going to take the super soft boost there. It is a long race, 51 laps. I think Vettel can get 27 out of the medium. So it is going to be a 2-stop. It should be 2 super softs onto a medium, then maybe back onto a super soft, or the other way around, super, then medium. We might even be able to get away with going on a soft. It just depends what it's going to be like here. The weather is hot, but not too hot. So I'm guessing that's what we're doing there. Van Dorn, on the other hand, 14 to 28. Jump onto that. Would see him just about through to the end of the race. He might have to go super soft, and then medium. But we do want him on the supers to start this race on, because it's quite a big difference. There isn't that much of a difference, is there? No, it's about a second over 16 laps. That is quite a big difference, isn't it? So we're going to start. We do want 2 sets of supers on this car, maybe from Van Dorn as well. So we're going to start him on the supers, even though he's a little bit further back on the grid. So we'll get him on the supers, and then we'll run down the grid for this 2021 American Grand Prix, where we're on pole position. Vettel leads over Hamilton. First place. Second is Lewis Hamilton. Alonso, I'm guessing he's got a dodgy neck. He does. A lot of drivers seem to get dodgy necks this season. Alonso not that far behind himself. He's third with Red Bull with that new Honda engine. Daniel Ricciardo is fourth in the Renault. 50 is George Russell in an Aston Martin. 6 is Charles Leclerc in a Ferrari. Sainz is 7th. 8th is Hulkenberg in the second Ferrari. Alexander Albon in that second Red Bull Honda is 9th. Bottas up into 10th in the Alfa Romeo. Pierre Gasly has moved up the grid. We don't usually see him up here this season. 11th in an Alfa Tauri. Max all the way back in 12th in a Mercedes. Newgarden in a Haas is 13th. Ocon 14th in a Renault. Then we've got Norris and Giovinazzi in McLaren and Alfa Romeo. Sergio Perez in a Haas. Stoffel Van Dorn is all the way down in 18th. Then on the 10th row of the grid, we've got Robert Schwartzman and Nicholas Latifi. And then we've got Vips in an AlphaTauri, Magnussen in a Williams. And on the 12th row of the grid, we've got Lance Stroll in the second Aston Martin, a long way behind his teammate. And then we've got Mick Schumacher. It's just a dodgy net for Lance Stroll. And Mick Schumacher brings up the rear of the grid in that second Prema. He usually out-qualifies his teammate, but I'm hoping... Yeah, Schumacher usually out-qualifies Schwartzman, but I'm hoping we get a decent start, although it looks like Hamilton's got a better start than us, although Vettel shuts the door. It's going to be hard in this race to keep this first position, because we shouldn't have the engine power to do this part of the track. The half oval, it's a little bit more than a half oval. We shouldn't have the power to go ahead and do that, although we've got a lot of cars starting on soft tyres here. So you never know, it might work out for us if we can get onto another set of supers throughout this race, as we set the first lap of the race time of 1:10. I thought it'd be about a 1:8, did I say before the race? Or a 1:5. It is a 1:10 doing race pace, although it should be a 1:8 over the second lap, I would guess. No, we're going a little bit slower now. Maybe it is going to settle in at 1:10s for the race pace. 1:11 over the second lap, and we're getting a little bit hot. We don't want to run in this mode too long. We're not pushing the fuel out. Maybe we should go for that, because we know the AI does like to do that. Maybe swap about and maybe get onto neutral on the tyres so we don't start overheating. Hamilton is pushing at the moment, but I'm guessing he is going to overheat pretty soon and dial back on what he is doing at the moment. As it is, Vettel is still leading this race. A good start. Van Dorn is currently struggling at the moment. He's in a big group of cars. It's Lance Stroll who's had a really good start, but we get past him on the half oval. Who is that in front of her? That is Pierre Gasly who's dropped down, but Van Dorn makes a mistake. Lets Stroll through, lets Norris through, gets back at Norris. I mean, we're just pushing the fuel load at the moment. We've got a second gap over Lewis Hamilton at the moment. So Vettel just... It's just doing a good job at the moment. Do we need to cool down? No, we're just about getting into the red zone. It looks like we've got the run on the Mercedes-powered Aston Martin at the moment, because we're quicker over that, just over half oval. We're a lot quicker, and then we get on the back of the AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly. Have we got the power to do that? If we go attack mode down here, can we get the move done on Pierre Gasly? No, we can't. We're going to cool down now over the next part of the lap, and then we'll try go again once we get to the oval. And there we go. Oh, no, wrong button. Get back on it. Get back on the power. Van Dorn. Try stay close enough through the last section. No, we don't get it either. Let's cool down once again. No, we're overheating. We're going to have to dial back for a bit with Van Dorn. Maybe should we just concentrate? No, because we can't move Van Dorn up here. Vettel's just away with himself at the moment. He's got a 2.5 second gap over Lewis Hamilton. It would be amazing if we could go on and win this race somehow. But we're just cooling down now. We're going to have another go at Pierre Gasly in a couple of laps time, see if we can catch up to him. We're hanging on to the back of him. I'm guessing they're doing the same at the moment. Van Dorn's going through this tyre pretty rapidly though. He's gone down to 50%. Vettel's going through it pretty quickly as well. We were running hot on them for a little bit to try to keep that gap. Although Hamilton's about the same, the top order cars that were pushing as well. They were doing around the same sort of times as us. So we're going to go back into push mode now, high mode for a lap, and see if we can get close to this group of cars that we've got in front of us. If we can claw that gap back, and there we go with the AlphaTauri, and then we get into the oval part of the section, or the half oval. Can't get onto the back of the Alfa Romeo of Bottas. We can't get past him if we stay on the back here. These tyres are overheating. We're going to go one more lap on these, and then we're going to get Van Dorn in early. He's managed to do only 12 laps off this tyre. We're going to have to go medium and see what he can get out of a medium tyre. But he's coming into the pit. He should just get in before these tyres drop off for him. And he does. So Van Dorn is the first car on track to pit. Van Dorn. He's got a lot of clear air to work with. We might as well just have him trundle along at the back here. And we've got a couple more laps with Vettel. Oh, we've got Ricciardo going for the undercut here. Ricciardo is going for the undercut. So we're going to push into the pits now. We're going to get back out. We've done the 13. We're going to have done 14 laps. If we can get to 28 laps, it should be good enough then to get onto the medium, maybe the soft. So we're going to go super soft again just to cover off Ricciardo here, because as we know, Renault do like to go. No, Renault have gone for medium. Renault have somehow recently, especially with Ricciardo, used to be ultra aggressive with their pit stops. Being a little bit conservative this time around. Vettel comes in, Hamilton is staying out, going for the overcut is Hamilton. We get a nice quick pit stop. It is 1.9 seconds. We get out as well without traffic, which is good for us. And more importantly, we're away from Daniel Ricciardo, who must have got stuck in traffic. He's a long way behind his Danny Rick. Got stuck in traffic, which is good for us because we've got some nice clear air now. Hamilton, I'm guessing, is going to come into the pits this lap. His tyres just about going off the boil, but no, he's going round again. What is Hamilton doing? What is this? Let's see what his first sector's like, because that tyre should have gone, yeah, it's falling off here. I don't know why Mercedes kept Hamilton out. Did they bring Verstappen in? No, they didn't. Verstappen's on a medium tyre. 2 seconds down on this lap. Mercedes, absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare for Mercedes. So that means we're going to come around here and we're going to have a nice gap, because there is Hamilton all just pulling into the pit box and Vettel just goes flying through. Effectively, first place, Hamilton comes out. How far behind? He's about 11 seconds behind. What is that? He's more than 11 seconds behind, is he? No, he's about 10.5 seconds behind. That is absolutely shocking for Mercedes. I'm not complaining though, because means good things for us, doesn't it? Over the course of this race, we might as well just speed up a little bit now, because we've got a little bit clear air around all of our cars. Van Dorn is just waiting for other cars. Oh, I said we've got clear air. That is Latifi. He's just pulled out of the pits here. So we're going to try and clear this Williams if we can. Stay on the back of him and then clear him on the half oval part of the track, although that Mercedes power seemingly keeping that Williams in front of us. Maybe we should just give up on that. Maybe we'll just stick Van Dorn in auto drive for a little bit whilst he's in the middle of that battle at the moment. Vettel is currently running in third place. Did Hamilton go for a soft tyre? Hamilton went for. So maybe the Mercedes is going to play the long game here. They're going to try maybe get onto another soft when we're on the medium tyre. We do have Perez, who is leading this race at the moment, although he's yet to stop. And these tyres are getting a little bit hot, so we're just going to cool down for a little bit as well. There's no point battling away with Perez, because I'm guessing Perez is in this lap or the next lap. No, he's staying out again, is Perez. The AI likes to keep the cars out a little bit long, although this soft can go down to 10%. So there it goes. Perez comes into the pits. That releases Vettel. He's got a 12-second lead over Lewis Hamilton, now 11. It's going to come down a little bit because we're just recovering the tyre. We're going to try and run a little bit as long as we can on this super soft. Currently doing a 1:10.5 to Hamilton's 1:11.1. So Hamilton's cooling off as well at the moment. We're going to bump that up to conserve. We've got some fuel to play with at the moment. Van Dorn, meanwhile, is running in 19th place, totally out of it. I don't think there's any sort of way to move him up into the points. Although there are a few cars to pit. We'll just let the AI just control him at the moment as we just go through and just watch Vettel leading this race. First place, we've got a gap now over Hamilton. It's Leclerc who is in second though. Leclerc has managed to move his way back up through the pack, through those pit stops. Ferrari up there, which is what they need since Verstappen's running so far down the order. That is still a 50-point gap though going into the last race of the season. It would need an absolute nightmare. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't even be possible, would it, if Mercedes both finished outside the points and the Ferrari finished 1-2? That'd be 43 points. So if things stayed the way they are, Hamilton stays where he is and the Ferraris do, it would be Mercedes' title after this race. It would be mathematically impossible for Ferrari to go ahead and win the title back. Or at all. It's just Mercedes' dominance once again. After Ferrari had such a good start to the season, they've just totally gone off the boil. They've started to come back a little bit stronger now. They've got that new engine in the car. And that would put... yeah, it means since it's going to put it so... with this result the way it is at the moment, that would be Charles Leclerc winning the title as well. That should be mathematically impossible for Lewis to win the title. So we would not have a Mercedes driver winning the title, but Mercedes would win the Constructors again. That would possibly all come down to Hulkenberg, because Hulkenberg has only scored 121 points to the 252 point haul of Charles Leclerc so far. Is that good enough? Oh, we've gone a little lap too long, 27, so yeah, that's what we wanted. Did we get the full complement out of this if we're just running right? Should we get onto the mediums, just make sure we're safe for this race? I mean, we're so far in front, but we're not that far in front of Charles Leclerc. Maybe we do have to go for the quicker tyre just to make sure we can keep distance over that Ferrari. That Ferrari has started to come back at us recently. We do have a lot of fuel saved up for the last stint, so we should be able to keep that gap opened up once we get into the pits. And then we've got a lot of fuel. Are we out into a gap here? Yes, we are, so we can go into overtake mode, but we do need to stay neutral with the tyres just to make sure we can get through to the end of the race. Van Dorn currently running 16th. So as it is, Leclerc now though is still opening that gap up, is he? We've managed to get past the house of Perez again, battling away with Perez. So we didn't actually make much ground up over that last stint, did we, being on the super soft? But we are a little... no, we're not. We're slowing down as we get through little bits of this race. We keep dropping a little bit of time to Leclerc, then gaining it back, and then dropping a little bit of time again. As what is up with Van Dorn? Van Dorn's wanting to come into the pits, but these mediums can go a lot lower than that. He still wants to be out on track at the moment. He is... it's the AI controlling him at the moment, which... running his tyres a little too hot. Not much that we can do with him. We don't really want to... should we get him? We'll just get him in now for his soft set. It doesn't really matter what happens to Van Dorn in this race. It is all about Vettel. Just owning this and hoping that we can get him back out in front of Charles Leclerc here. We do have a Red Bull of Alexander Albon in front that we're starting to catch. That might cost us a little bit of time. His tyres are still running pretty well at the moment, which is what we want. We're just holding that 18 bit of a second gap out with Leclerc. Is currently conserving. I don't know if he's coming into the pits this lap. Is he coming in? He should be coming in. No, yes he is. So Leclerc is into the pits. We are now coming round Leclerc into the pit box. We go through. Have we still got about that 4-second gap over Leclerc? We have that 4-second gap. I'm guessing Leclerc is going to go all out on that super soft though. Went for the alternative strategy to us, and he might be able to catch us. That Ferrari is mightily powerful, although he does have Perez in front of him, but Perez, I'm guessing, no, Perez has stayed out. Leclerc has already got past him. Leclerc is closing that gap at the moment. We're just sort of holding on. He's going to come at us at some point over the last 13 or so laps of this race. We've got Hamilton and Albon out in front of us. They do still both need to pit, and Leclerc is getting so close to us now. That Ferrari, mightily powerful on that pair of super softs. Our tyres are going to get overheated. We're going to have to start recovering as well on them at some point. We've got room with the fuel to push at the moment. Can we hold off Charlie here? Can we keep Leclerc behind us? It doesn't look like that's going to be even possible at all here. Hamilton is currently 5th. That's Russell in front of him. Russell does have to pit. Albon is about to make his second and final pit stop of the race. Where would Albon filter back out? Actually, we don't want to watch Albon. We want to stay with Vettel here, but we'll keep track of Albon up here. Where is Albon going to filter out of the pits for Red Bull? He's going to get back out into 6th place, so that's not too bad for Albon considering where he started out on the grid. He's currently ahead of his teammate Fernando Alonso. I'm guessing Fernando got stuck. At some point it looks like Charles is started to ease off pushing at the moment, or they're still pushing the tyres. He's going to have to go low on the fuel. We've still got a little bit of fuel left, but we do need to cool down the tyres as well. So, we did a 108.9 off that last lap, quicker than Charles, but we're cooling down now. Hamilton sets the quickest lap of the race at a 107.6. We should be safe from Hamilton, but you never know. On that fresh pair of supers, he could pull that back as well. I think through this part of the track, it's all about track conserve through the first part, and then when we get down to here, we've got to like attack on the tyres over the fastest part of the track, and maybe we can try stay ahead of Charles. I mean, that just totally wrecks the tyres though, doing that. We're going to have to go in backup mode to try recover on the tyres at the moment. Are we going to have to do this for every lap of the race now? Look at that, the tyres didn't even cool down at all. Can we stay ahead here? Switch it back into backup. Keep it in high mode. We should be able to run in high mode till the end of the race. Van Dorn, meanwhile, if we check it back in with Van Dorn, he's currently 16th. Doesn't look like he's going to pick up any places as we go along here. And it looks like Charlie's about to do it. Charles has got us into the final corner here before the very long, almost straight, heavy half oval. Leclerc has got us here. We're going to cool down. We've got to try defend from Hamilton as well, who is on the super soft. I don't think we're going to be able to defend from him. But 45 laps into the race, I didn't think we'd be able to hold on that long. I mean, we should be able to hold on from Hulkenberg, who's on a used pair of supers. A podium here in America would still be outstanding if Vettel can go ahead and do that. It looks like we're managing to hold off Hamilton here. We still have some room to push, whereas Leclerc is just flying off into the distance now. If we speed up, Hamilton's getting close. Hamilton is getting close to us though. Too close for comfort. I don't think we're going to keep second place here. Hamilton, here comes Hamilton, there he goes. Just no answer for the pace of the top cars at the moment. Yeah, so third place. I'm guessing Hulkenberg. Is Hulkenberg coming quick at the moment? No, he's only a tiny little bit quicker than us. So let's just speed up to the end of the race here. I don't think we're going to gain much. Van Dorn has a big gap in front of him to Latifi. He's not going to make anything up. I don't think we can really come back at Hamilton here. Although we can attack over this last lap maybe. We should have enough in this tyre to see it through to the end of the race. Just pushing here. What can we do? Do we have the pace to come back at Hamilton? The tyre's going to shred here before we get onto the final lap. I don't think we're coming back. Tyre temperature's through the roof. We're at a 109.1. We don't actually want this tyre to fall away though. It shouldn't do though. We should be able to keep pace. And there we go. Another podium finish though. That is absolutely outstanding for us. It is a third place. Charles Leclerc wins the Grand Prix. Hamilton is second. We're third. Ricciardo comes across the line in fourth. Hulkenberg is fifth. I'm guessing Hulkenberg's tyres fell away right at the end there, which gifted fourth place to Ricciardo. Then we have the two Red Bulls, Albon and Alonso 6th and 7th. Russell is 8th, Newgarden 9th, and then Bottas rounds out the points in the Alfa Romeo. So there we go. Charles Leclerc, another win. I don't think he's won in quite a while. He did win like the first 5 races of the season, and then Ferrari sort of went off the boil. Hulkenberg won one, and then Ferrari just totally went off it. They're coming back strong, but it's a little bit too late. I think it should be Mercedes' title once we have a look through this. That is 29 point gap, so Charles Leclerc has won the Drivers' Championship heading into the final race of the season. Vettel is 4th. Can't really get the third place from Max Verstappen. Van Dorn, 55 point haul this season is not too bad, but we would like someone that could be a little bit closer to Vettel. You never know, Hulkenberg might be available after this season. We might be able to get Hulkenberg, it just depends. I'm not going to go into what decides where drivers go. A lot of it is like random roles, a lot of it is, and points based system on contract negotiations and so on and so forth is how we go into it. And if we just look at the drivers, yeah, it's pretty much done for, isn't it? 43 points available at most. Ferrari cannot win the title, so Mercedes have won the Constructors' Championship. There's no way for them now to get back towards the top. We came third overall, which is not bad. What is that? That'll be a dodgy neck, won't it, for Van Dorn? Yep, a dodgy neck, which knocks Van Dorn even further down. Maybe we'll put Pascal into the car for the last race of the season, see what he can do over the last race. And then we can decide what we're going to do with the driver lineup from there. 1.3 million coming out of the bank again. We see the results for this race. Our engine, 10 days, 8 days to that. Don't think the engine is going to be actually done in time. If we move forward, it is actually going to be done. When it says race, it usually gives, I'm guessing it's giving that date. I thought it'd give this date for the race. Not that date, this date. That's more than 10 days away, isn't it? Anyway, Mark Webber wants to ask us a question. Sebastian Vettel has claimed that your brakes... it's going to upset everyone, whatever we do. That one. Takes marketability off. That doesn't mean much to us because we don't get much money from sponsorship in this game anyway. A dodgy neck first off of Van Dorn, as we know. But yeah, we get into the last race of the season, which looks like it's going to be a rainy race. It is in Doha. The first time we've been here in this series. A very long track, although it looks to be a lot of corners. It does have a really short pit lane though, does Doha, of about 10 seconds. So a 2-stop strategy, even though you could probably do a 1-stop really comfortably, a 2-stop might be quicker to pick up more than 10 seconds for a pit stop, because I'm guessing, I think it is about sub 10 seconds, because instead of you come into the pit and then you cut out a huge section of the track. So yeah, that is something to think about going into the next race. The engine is not as useful, which is good news for us. We saw we can handle what the other car's engines throw at us, because we do have still a pretty decent car. But anyway, that is it for this episode. Hope everyone enjoyed our first trip to America. But until next time, I'll see you down the road in Doha. But until then, stay safe, have fun, goodbye.